Helen Farmer with you. It is Friday and it's all about food, of course, but we're not in the studio today. We are out and about at Spinneys Meydan HQ, and I'm not alone. I've got a fantastic chef keeping me company. Going to be introducing you properly to Chef Sara Aqel, who's with us to cook something that I'm not going to reveal just yet, but what I'm going to say is looking at the ingredients in front of us. My goodness, we are in for an absolute feast, and you are all going to learn something this afternoon about ingredients, about heritage cooking, about Sara herself, and we're also going to be treating you to some fantastic prizes. So you can, of course, listen, as many of you are on Dubai I-103.8, but also watch us. Tune in to our YouTube channel, and you could be winning a massive hamper full of fresh Spinneys ingredients, a bit of a protein pack. We're celebrating some incredible things that we're actually going to be cooking with today. Also coming your way between now and 5 o'clock, we're speaking to Chef Nicholas. His restaurant in France has got Michelin stars, and he's here in the UAE for a four-hand dinner. We are talking trends, where to go this weekend, and so much more. So join the conversation, have your say on 4001, and I'll be hearing from you after the headlines. So, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, hi, Sara's here. So we will speak to the listeners in just a few minutes, but Sara, for everyone that's watching along, let's talk about what's in front of us right now. What are we making today?
Today we're making one of my favorite recipes that I have been making for a very good time now, a few years, and it's called a polpete. And the way that we are making it is that we're not serving it with a tomato sauce, so we're not making it super Italian.
Okay.
And we are serving it with a yogurt mix of tzatziki. So it's not super Greek, but it's also the way that most of our mixed meat and minced meat is eaten in the Middle East.
And is this pretty representative of your restaurant in Jordan?
Yes, it does. It represents a lot in my restaurant in Jordan.
Tell us about Dara Dining.
Dara Dining is a project that we started August last year, 19th of August. So we are 1 year old.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. It's so funny to talk about it because like you feel like you're talking about your toddler, right?
No, I know. But
1 year old.
But it's a beautiful thing to recognize. I think we're always so fast paced that we always just look forward to the next thing, and to take a minute and go, I can't believe what I've achieved.
True.
It's a really significant landmark. I mean, for any business year, but especially in F&B, where you know a lot of places open and unfortunately a lot of places close, it is something to be celebrated. So we're making meatballs today, and we are using some fantastic Spinneys Greek yogurt for the dipping sauce as well. So tell us a little bit about what's in front of us, and then we can recap for our listeners in a minute as well.
So what's in front of us is a use of offcuts of meat, whether it's veal, whether it's Angus. Every restaurant has a lot of varieties of meat or dishes that you use fat in. You sometimes have a lot of leftover of something. And today, this recipe I like a lot because one of my mentors and the person that I worked for previously, Massimo, he used to really church bread, and he taught us so much about working with bread. And we adopt that. When you learn from people like that, when you open your own restaurant and when you do your own things, you adopt that philosophy and that culture and you try to give it back. And that's what we're doing. So
I feel like we need to just quickly interject. And so you say it so casually, Massimo. Sara's being...
He's never too casual.
No, but you're
His name is
so
always
cool. So cool. You worked at Tuna Subito on the Palm, which has a star itself.
Yeah.
One of Chef Massimo Bottura's international outputs, and he doesn't have many. So a big statement for him to come to Dubai, and as you say, hugely passionate not only about food, but also about
sustainability,
feeding the hungry, all over the world. And the word sustainable is overused, I think, but really kind of, walking the walk with a lot of ingredients and a lot of usage.
As I said, it's overused, but when it's a culture, we don't pay attention to it.
It's just part of what you do.
Yes. In Dara, for example, we don't work with big production companies. We don't work with big producers and big brands. We work with small producers. We support community artisanal work, and we try to source everything from there.
So feeling really rooted.
Yes, but when I started doing it, the idea wasn't really promoting sustainability. It was just part of the culture that we live in.
Just being in the neighborhood.
We don't really appreciate bigger brands than our little shop at the end of the street, where we know the name of the guy who makes the cheese, the name of the guy who packs it, and the name of the guy who delivers it. And sometimes in Jordan, especially at Dara, that guy who makes the cheese, packs it, and takes it with him is the same guy. So, 100%.
We're coming back on the radio now, and I can already feel the excitement to get onto YouTube. Now, we've got a brilliant prize for those of you who are watching on our YouTube channel. I would urge you to get into the comments, and because we are celebrating Sarah as a Palestinian woman who's been raised in Jordan where her restaurant is, I would love to hear from you your favorite food from your home country. Pop that in the comments and you could be winning a hamper of goodies, which is right over here for those of you watching on YouTube today. And it is absolutely packed. The team at Spinneys have put together a hamper full of the Greek yogurt we're going to be using, protein, we're going to have some beautiful berries in there as well. So everything you need to have a really kind of healthy, protein-packed celebration. So get onto the YouTube comments and tell me your favorite food from your home country. I'm Helen Farmer, it's Farmer's Kitchen. You might be able to hear we're not in the studio. We are out and about at Spinneys HQ, and I'm joined by an amazing chef today. She's worked in Dubai with the likes of Massimo Bottura. She was at Filia, which had that amazing Bib Gourmand nod from Michelin, and has her own restaurant, Dara Dining, in Jordan. But let's talk a little bit about you, Sara Aqel. Tell us about growing up. Who was cooking and what were you eating as a child?
Well, I grew up with my mom and my grandmother from my dad's side, and they both cooked and they both fed me. Let me put it in short sentences. I had to diet since I was 18 because up until I was 15, I would have 2 breakfasts, 2 lunches, and 2 dinners. Not to upset my mom and not to upset my grandmother. So
you couldn't play favorites.
If you've been around in the Middle East or the Arab world, sorry, I shouldn't say Middle East. If you've been around in the Arab world for long enough in this community, you would know what hamat someone means, which is the mother-in-law. Mm-hmm. And there has been always a competition in food. I enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah, you benefited.
I would have my sandwich with my mom, and then I would have eggs and milk with my grandmother, and then go to school and have my lunchbox and just eat again, and then go back for lunch and eat twice again. Up until I was 15, this was the love of this was the dream.
So you were lucky. This started young. I think a lot of people grow up and actually aren't blessed to have a good cook in the family.
Right. Should I start cooking while we're talking?
Yes. And for those of us who are listening to Dubai I-103.8, let's just recap. What are we making today? What's the dish of the day?
Today is polpete, and it's an Italian way of making meatballs. So we will do it with the extra fat of lamb, if you have lamb in your restaurant or in your house, or if you go to the store, even if you come to Spinneys actually, and you ask them for the lamb fat, they can actually give it to you minced, and you can add it to some of your favorite mincemeat dishes, or others that just cook with it sometimes.
So we're using a few different meats here. So you've got the fat of the lamb. We've also got what looks like beef. This is ribeye,
brisket, and then there is the ribeye mince or the Angus beef. So whatever is available.
And you're tearing up bread, which I'm a bit mystified by.
Yes, I will tell you why. Because when you have old bread in the house, I'm sure you already now the world is aware about bread and how to reuse bread the entire time. But if you have old bread in the house, it's not that hard yet, and you can't eat it. It's not that pleasant to eat it. Mm-hmm. We're gonna start by soaking that bread in milk. And that's kind of a tenderizer for the meat, and a moist sponge that stays in the meatball itself. So I'm just going to keep it there.
Chef, any bread in particular? Could you use just like the crust? What are you using?
It's fine. You can use anything you have in the house. You just need to start by soaking it because it needs some time to soften. Okay.
Now, Italian. And as I said, you're Palestinian, you have your Jordanian home and restaurant, but you have worked with the likes of Italian innovator, Massimo Bottura. But this recipe came from where? How long have you been making it for?
Almost 4 years now.
Okay, I'm expecting good things. It's 4 years. So we're cracking an egg.
Yes.
And this is going to go in for our binding. Now, when I learned what we were making today, and we're going to be making a lovely tzatziki as well, we're using the Spinneys Greek yogurt. I was like, she's making meatballs. I was like, well, I use Spinneys meatballs all the time. So I know if you are, by the way, wanting to do the super easy option, you can just buy them downstairs. But that would be a waste of your talents. So for those of you who want to kind of really get your hands into it, and as you said, be sustainable about some of the meat that you might have in your home, then you can bring all of this together in an absolutely gorgeous meatball dish. So our egg has been whisked, it's been put into the bowl where those offcuts of bread are soaking.
Correct.
And let's...
I am just going to start mincing. And I can tell you something. I did not start cooking with a tweezer. I have seen my mom working with meat and mincing meat and fat in the house since I was a kid. So
Not afraid to get your hands dirty.
not only not afraid to get my hands dirty, I actually like it. I actually
Do you?
enjoy it. Yes.
So, growing up in a foodie household, when did you think that food was going to be your life, your work? I mean, you've just celebrated a year of Dara dining in Jordan, and to have your own restaurant is just an incredible accomplishment. But when did you think, actually, this is what I want to do? I want to take my love of food to the next level?
I'll tell you something. Growing up in our house means that we've had a lot of food, usually, and means as well that we have done so much bigger dining tables that you can imagine
Like
than you
what?
can have in your imagination. My mom cooks a lot, right? And my mom enjoys cooking. She's a wonderful cook, and every time that she cooked a lot of food when I was a kid, we had a very big table. We are 5 sisters. We come from a Palestinian family, so small families are not really our thing. We don't like small families.
5 girls.
We are 5 girls, yes.
Wow.
So
I might get some advice in a minute. I only
we
have 2
are-
and it's already chaos.
So we are 5 girls, so the dining table was already big. So imagine if 1 or 2 of us brought friends from school or brought
Or a celebration
friends from,
or a birthday.
nothing, just bring them from school. Hey, you want to come have lunch at ours? Yeah, sure, let's go.
And next, if one person brings one person, then next thing you know, you're 10,
We're
you're
10
12.
people.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So we've always had a big dining table in the house. We were never allowed to skip a meal together as sisters. We shouldn't have, no matter how hard the day was or how difficult you think your morning was, when it's lunchtime, it's lunchtime. We all sit on the table. We appreciate what my mom made, and we don't complain. We don't ask for anything else, and we don't say, why didn't you make me 1 or 2? I always thought when I was a kid that logistics work differently. We all know that people say, hey, I'm coming, so you make extra food. In our house, I always thought that people came because my mom makes so much food. So the day that she did not make so much food because she knows that no one is coming, I would blame her for not having visitors. I like playing host since I was a kid, so.
But isn't that interesting? Because I think a lot of people, let's just quickly recap for those of you who aren't watching on YouTube, which you should, by the way. Head over there. You can see what's happening in the kitchen at Spinneys with me, Helen Farmer, and Chef Sara Aqel, and you can win a hamper of goodies. We have been grating some cheese. Which cheese was it?
Parmigiano.
Okay, and we've just, as you can probably hear, been grinding some salt into that mixture.
Yes, salt, and then we're going to grind some pepper.
So you're a natural born host. For a lot of people, and by a lot of people, I would include myself in this, I think a lot of people get anxious about having a dinner party or having people over because it feels like, oh gosh, this is how I'm going to be judged. You know, and we kind of forget that yes, people come for the food, but they also come for the people and the connection in the community, if that makes sense.
It's true. There is one thing that I love about hosting, and when you do this for a living, it's different, right?
Okay.
There's an expectation for a paid service, I would say. When you're doing it at home, you just bring everyone to a big table like this and you tell them, you chop the tomatoes, you do the dishes.
And that's part of it, right?
And I'll work the fire. and that's easier.
Well, we had
host
people
by
over last
nature
night
is because as well we are a culture of hospitality. We are a very close culture in general. I'm not saying only Palestinian. The entire Sham region is a very close culture. We like visiting each other. We like gossiping. We like coming to each other's houses in the morning and just making sure that we spill the juice of everything. Feel connected. And over coffee, over breakfast, over lunch. It's something that we enjoy doing in general since ages. And hospitality for us is a show off, right?
And also, I guess, a way of telling stories through food. You know, where did a dish come from? You know, were there dishes that would only come out at special occasions, or things that your mother had been cooking from when she was a child?
Honestly, yeah. And I grew up hearing my mom talking to her friends, showing off recipes that she learned from her mom, from her older sister, from her neighbor, from her aunt, and we would just show it off, right? We would just sit there and be like, someone would say, oh, I love the sfiha that you make, and my mom would be like, yeah, I learned it from my mom, and then she would say, but I can't give you the recipe.
Oh, so a bit competitive as well.
Yeah, exactly.
In the kitchen today, we have got the fantastic Chef Sara Aqel. She has worked in Dubai. She's been at Filia. She's been at Massimo Bottura's Torno Sofita restaurant. We've stolen her away from her Jordanian restaurant, Dara Dining, for just a few hours. Head over to our YouTube. We're about to head to a short break on the radio, but if you head to the YouTube channel, Dubai I 1038, and if you go to our Instagram stories, there's a link week, so it's even easier. You can indeed win a hamper full of goodies just by getting into the comment section and telling us your favourite food from your home country. I've been racking my brains on this and I keep coming back to fish and chips. I can't win, but you can. We'll catch you on the other side where we're going to be talking about some amazing protein products right here at Spinneys. And of course, lots to come on the show as well. We are live until 5 on Dubai I-103.8. So for everybody who's watching, Chef, what are we doing?
We just mix the meat, fat, eggs, and milk.
You're taking
Salt
the hard
and pepper.
crusts out, right?
Yes, just to make sure it doesn't stay there. Okay. Usually, if you soak it an hour before, everything should be soft
enough,
you can, you can use the entire thing. Don't waste anything. We're not fans of waste, but for today, we're going to move it.
This is something you could kind of semi-prep in advance if you are someone who is kind of like maybe a bit anxious about.
Now, I will even show you that we will grate some cucumbers, and if you just leave them in the fridge in a cheesecloth, you could strain all the water out of it so you can make a good tzatziki that is not runny and not watery.
That's what we're going to be doing. We've got Paul joining us in just a couple of minutes from Spinneys for the radio. And right here, right now, we are live on YouTube on Dubai I-103.8 channel. Helen Farmer with Chef Sara. And I'm going to head over and see what's being said about favourite dishes from home country. That's a really hard question for you, I'm sure.
Tell us favorite dish?
Yeah.
Oh, so many.
You can't win, Chef. I've got bad news. But tell me, would you have the top 3 Palestinian dishes?
So many. Maybe, can I get some?
Would you have a... So I'm kind of torn. I think really good roast dinner.
Roast
dinner, like roast beef and, some Yorkshire puddings and, that kind of thing. Here we go. Some fresh gloves for you.
Thank you.
But yeah, I keep on thinking fish and chips. I keep on thinking that could be the one. Sticky toffee pudding. I think English do really good, what we would call like a pud, like a good kind of dessert.
Yeah.
So sticky toffee pudding with ice cream or cream, apple crumble, mega calories. What about sweets? Do you have a sweet tooth?
Oh, it's my weakness. I eat baklava every time I see baklava. It doesn't matter how much I see of it. I will eat it all. It's a thing.
Right. Messages coming in on the 4001. But you can't win there, guys. You need to tell me in our YouTube what your favourite dish from your home country is for your chance to win this hamper of goodies from Spinneys, which has got the Greek yogurt that we're making the tzatziki with later. We're also going to be speaking in just a few minutes about cottage cheese, about different types of yogurts available in Spinneys, and you could be winning it all, plus throwing in some berries, some protein bars, and kind of getting your day off to a good start. We've got some garlic going on, Chef.
Yes, I'm just going to chop some garlic. Some for the meat, the other some, or a lot of the other some, is for the tzatziki.
Okay. That's a major knife. Do you travel with your own knives?
I do.
Do you really?
I was stopped this time, but I do.
Tell me the origin story of your first knife love. Was it a gift? Or?
It was a gift from my schoolmates.
Really?
Yeah, because they knew I wanted to become a chef since ever. So I've had friends who've been my friends since I was in the 5th grade. And when we graduated school, they got me the first knife that it had my name engraved on it.
Oh, that
was
is
in Japanese,
so
but
special.
It's my first love for a knife.
Oh.
It was the first customized knife that I had, and it was from very special people. So,
Chef, right, I'm going to ask you to maybe have a little break for a minute. You don't need to do much cooking. We're going to make them tzatziki after about 10 minutes or so.
Sure.
How long can this hang out? Does it need to go in the fridge or anything?
I will leave it just for a second here, and then I will add the garlic to it. We need it to kind of sit at room temperature just for a second.
Okay.
For all the ingredients to incorporate together, and then we're going to put it in the fridge until we start rolling the balls.
Perfect. Right, we are going to come back, and then let's get Paul Crawford in. You got a microphone on, sir?
Yes.
All mic'd up. Nice to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I keep on wanting to say Happy New Year to people because it's got this kind of it's got this New Year feel, but it's not. It's back to school and back to normality. How was your summer?
Oh, it was great. Yeah, thank you. I was in Scotland for a few weeks and down south in England as well. So enjoyed the rain back home. It was lovely. Yeah.
Right. 10 seconds of coming back. We're going to be finding out about some. Maybe we'll bring the hamper over and we can talk through some of the new things we've got in the hamper. Let's see if we can bring the hamper in. I'll grab it. Helen Farmer with you, lifting an enormous hamper of goodies. It is...
Helen Farmer exercising.
I am seriously working the biceps today because I can't win this prize, but you guys can. We are live from Spinneys Meydan, the fantastic Chef Sara Aqel with us today. We're making, I keep wanting to say, how do you pronounce it?
Polpete.
Polpete. Meatballs.
With the eye and then with the hands.
And with the hands. We're bringing together some Mediterranean, some Levantine, celebrating some Arab world food that she's been making for years and years. And one of our hero ingredients today is Greek yogurt. Now, we are joined now by the category manager, the man responsible for bringing in some of these gorgeous fresh ingredients, Paul Crawford's from Spinneys, with us. So you went back to your homeland over the summer?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was lovely.
How was the food?
Not as good as the food in Dubai, obviously.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself kind of ever switching off? Or do you find yourself being out on farms and other supermarkets and going, oh, that might do well?
Well, it was amazing actually. My parents have just moved to Fife, where actually our Scottish strawberries come from in Spinneys.
Well, who can forget the piper?
Yeah, exactly. So I was going to the farms and picking them myself. So that was really cool. I was like, these are what you get in Spinneys.
No rest for the wicked, Paul Crawford.
None.
Now, Chef Sara is going to be making tzatziki with the Spinneys Greek yogurt. I've got some questions / confusion about yogurt. Okay, so I need you to really break it down for everyone.
Okay.
So if you've stood in front of a chiller section and had, like I have, like an existential crisis of going, what is Greek yogurt? What is Greek style yogurt? Should I have the low fat one? And not really knowing what to do. Especially when at the minute I feel like it's having a massive moment on social media. We're seeing some amazing recipes, one of which we're having today. Can you talk us through it? What's the difference between Greek and Greek style yogurt?
So the way you actually put it makes it sound pretty simple actually, but there's a lot more yogurt varieties in there once you start introducing Icelandic skyr as well.
Sorry, what?
Icelandic skyr yogurt.
Sorry, this sounds like something from the Olympics.
Yeah, it is. But that is one that we're also seeing amazing growth on. And it's all to do with health and well-being on the Greek yogurts. Now, what's the difference between Greek and Greek style? So what you'll find is that Greek yogurt, the authentic Greek yogurt as we call, hails all the way from Greece.
Thank goodness you said that.
In the Greek, whenever you get something that's Greek style, it's usually generally not from Greece, and it's not to the same. That's a highly strained product.
Okay, why is that important?
Because it gives you that rich texture and creaminess,
Okay.
and that's why when you eat, that product's got 10% fat level, and that's what gives you the real creaminess and delicious.
What about the protein level? Because I saw on Instagram the other day, and it was a guy who was kind of going, this one's got this amount of protein in.
Yeah.
This one has been strained for longer. This one is a known brand. So it's organic. And I was like, I am completely baffled. What numbers are important?
So between Greek and Greek style, the numbers aren't too dissimilar. I think it's maybe 1 gram or so between 100 grams of serving. But the Greek is definitely the highest protein. Then you get down to the Greek style. On top of all of that, it's actually the skyr yogurt. That is per 100 grams the highest protein content.
How do you spell this?
Skyr, S-K-Y-R. So we've got
a whole new world.
We've got a brand from Arla on skyr, and we've also got a brand from Graham's in Scotland. Actually, they've produced that.
Funny that. Now, the other ingredient that we're seeing an awful lot of attention on social media is cottage cheese.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't mean to offend my mum, but when Babs, back in like the early 90s, was trying to lose weight, it would be a really sad-looking Rivita cracker with some really lumpy, gross-looking cottage cheese on. And maybe, if she was really treating herself, a bit of pineapple on top. And that was like my mum's 90s diet food. Yeah. So in my mind, I'm like, cottage cheese is punishment. It is not something that is delicious or to be enjoyed. It's to be endured. However, the younger generations have had a different idea, and we're seeing people do amazing recipes using it to make bread and cakes, and obviously that protein content. What is it, and how is it made, and why should we care?
Well, it's definitely having a renaissance, isn't it? And it's similar to the story you told there. It's very similar to what avocado went through probably the last 10, 15 years. That used to be seen as a bit of a retro food, but it's really come back in fashion. But yes, cottage cheese. It's when it's made, the whey is actually put back into the product and got whey chunks.
Go back a step. What is whey?
Whey is actually it comes off the top of the milk production when you're creating it, and you add it back into the cottage cheese, and that's where you get those curds within the cottage cheese. And customers are going crazy over it. It is absolutely booming. It's up about 50%. Versus last year, and we've just actually launched our own Spinneys food one just in the last couple of days. Actually,
oh, congratulations! It's like having a new baby.
Yeah, it is, and it's fantastic to see it under the Spinneys name. And customers are already ready.
So what do you think the customers are doing with it? Are they being inspired by TikTok videos? Are they using it as a kind of ingredient like my mum would have on a cracker? Are you hearing from anybody? I'm buying this because I saw that.
Look, it's hugely on trend, but I think a lot of people are just realising the convenience of it, and I think a lot of people are using it simply for snacking purposes. Today, for example, I was sitting with a cracker and just spooning it out of the tub. And I think it's delicious.
Can I tell you? Can I confess something? Uh-huh. Because of this history I had with it, I've never actually tasted any.
Oh well, we've got some. I'll go and get buy some today.
Would you pop down?
Yeah.
I will do a live tasting on YouTube, and I'll be like, not sure. Or this could be potentially life-changing. Can we quickly talk through what is in this hamper that we're giving away today? Because we've got some of the key ingredients that Chef Sara is going to be using. She's making
Polpete, the Italian meatball.
We're chopping some garlic now. It smells amazing, and we've got some tzatziki and big, handfuls of fresh herbs as well. Yeah. The Greek yogurt is really the hero ingredient today for that tzatziki. What else is in this hamper?
So we've also got, alongside the cottage cheese, we've got sour cream, which we've launched this week as well.
Can I just say, I don't know if this is your department, but we had some friends over for dinner last night, and I was just saying to Sarah, I get hosting anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I'm a terrible...
everyone,
No.
Well,
I don't.
She's a professional, though.
I love it. I'm not a professional home host.
Oh, right,
I enjoy putting people to work.
Come over. Whereas I'm like 4 people.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying to my husband, you cook, I'll pour drinks, and then we'll play a game and hope everyone has a nice time. And then we're done. So instead of cooking, we went to Spinneys and basically bought all the charcuterie. So we had a beautiful meat board, we had a beautiful cheese board. I thought of you. Had obviously some hard cheddar. We had some gooey cheeses, and we had the Wednesday dill with apricot because I'm addicted. And I was like, this is my happy place. Best thing, crisps and dips. You got some great dips.
Yes,
sour cream and onion. They were on special, so I was like, I'll buy 2. I'll buy the red pepper hummus and the sour cream.
My favourite, Sarah's away, so I can say this is the tzatziki. It is amazing.
Oh, do you think we need to have a little taste of it?
No, I definitely don't. We'd probably get beat. But that's my favourite out of that line.
What's your favourite?
Tzatziki.
The one downstairs.
I mean, it won't compare to yours, obviously.
We'll see.
I'd like a competition.
I think we should. Let's do it.
Okay.
Do you know what? Let's do it on social. We'll have a little taste test.
Let's see if you like this one or that one.
Taste test of what is the best one. So I guess that was my personal thank you to you.
Okay, great.
Before I got married, I'd said, if I ever do get married, my wedding food, I just wanted crisps and dips.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I think that's a fantastic idea. What's coming in? What's coming for the next season? Are you allowed to talk about the ingredients and products you're excited about yet?
Yeah, for sure. In terms, we're still going hard on a lot of yogurts. Yogurts is really the kind of booming category for us right now because it's all to do with health and wellness. It's core to what our customers believe in. So we're actually working on a range of Spinneys protein yogurts.
Oh
wow!
Yeah, and they're going to be produced in UAE actually.
That's great. Because I know you've got some Arla protein yogurts downstairs because I bought some yesterday.
Yeah, okay, good.
And in terms of how do you make people happy, people have different flavors, and we're thinking about different cultures and nationalities. Do you think there's going to be a kind of a core flavor like, well, it'd be bad if we didn't do that one? What are you scheming?
Oh yeah, I mean the most popular ones are generally when it comes to yogurts is strawberry. Yeah, strawberry, and then
I'm guilty.
Yeah,
strawberry.
me too.
Me too.
We're stereotypes.
And there's one. We've actually released this yogurt in a pouch, and it's for adults, so it's like adults suck a yogurt, and it's doing so well.
Thank you for making my life less embarrassing.
Well, there you go. Yeah,
we're just thinking about the Dubai traffic. You can have your snack. One hand on the steering wheel, and your second.
My family said to me, "What are you doing?
It's a baby
like a child." I
food.
was like, "That's amazing."
Can I put a flavour request in?
I'll see what I can
anything
try.
citrusy, like a lemon curd or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Right. That's my plea to you.
Okay.
Paul, go and buy me some tzatziki
Okay, I'll go
and
do
some
that.
cottage cheese,
Okay.
and we'll do a tasting later.
Okay.
Paul Crawford, category manager
you.
here at Spinneys. He's commercial manager for Fresh, the man who I used to call Cheese Man, but I'm now giving him his full title. It is Farmer's Kitchen with me, Helen Farmer. We're in the kitchen with Chef Sara. She's been chopping and grating. We're going to be catching up on YouTube to find out exactly what is going on. So we're going to head over to the headlines if you are listening on Dubai I-103.8. But do head over to our YouTube channel. Not only can you see what's happening in the kitchen, but if you tell me there in the comments your favourite food from your home country, then you could win an enormous hamper of goodies from Spinneys. We'll see you on the other side. So, Chef, let's have a little chat about what you're chopping.
I am chopping some dill, roughly. I'm not chopping it very fine because you want some texture in your tzatziki. It's nice to have that. I have squeezed all the cucumber that I grated for the tzatziki.
How much cucumber did you grate?
I've done 4 cucumbers.
4, wow.
No, actually 3. And
What are we going to do with the cucumber juice?
The cucumber juice, usually in my restaurant, we put it in big ice cube molds, and then we use it for our drinks.
Oh, that's a great idea.
We turn it into ice.
What a smart idea.
Yeah.
I really shouldn't eat a bit of that cheese. It's taking all my willpower. I wonder if I can get a quick bottle of water, if that's okay. So in our bowl, we have got 3 cucumbers grated.
And strained with a cheesecloth or whatever clean cloth that you have that does not have any fragrance of any washing.
Okay.
Just make sure that doesn't happen. And then, we have this dill, garlic. We're going to add a tiny bit of black pepper. Not too much. To it.
Smells so fresh.
I know.
So there's nothing creamy in here yet.
Nothing. Usually I would add a lemon zest to it because I like lemon zest in everything almost.
Are there any herbs that you like really kind of evoke your childhood? Anything that was growing in the garden and that you always seem to have in the kitchen?
We've always, if you go around Jordan in general, you would see so I'm not even joking, so much mint, basil, rosemary, and thyme and wild za'atar growing across the street. I remember when we were opening the restaurant, my partner Lana, who's also the sommelier of the restaurant, who's also the co-founder of the space, and when we were doing the opening together and we were looking for stuff, at one point I was like, I forgot how natural and organic it is in Jordan, and I was like, I need some rosemary. Oh my God, we forgot to buy some rosemary for the tasting. And then she parks the car and she opens the door and she was like, right there.
Just growing.
Yeah, just pick it up from there.
Gosh.
Get some mint, rosemary, and basil and come back to the car. And this is something that I would never
Tell
forget.
us about the decision to start your own restaurant. What was your big, one, idea of success, and 2, the DNA of the restaurant? How do you explain it to someone?
First of all, you always need the right people who give you the right resources and the right support to do that. I am lucky to have Lana and Maher, the partners of the restaurant, who are people who love food. They enjoy it. They would travel. They would take a plane to eat something very specific, somewhere very specific. Yeah. And we have that. We have a shared culture. You need to make sure that whatever you're trying to do in the restaurant, I stopped looking at restaurants and food as something that we do for a living. I don't make money out of restaurants. We build cultures out of restaurants. And you can see that. Dubai has changed significantly since
when did you first come to
COVID.
Dubai?
I was, I think, 20 years old.
Yeah. So just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago.
Right.
I wish I can still make that line.
I know, me too. I was like 20 years ago. So we've got our beautiful fresh ingredients. You've just spooned in. How many spoonfuls?
I just did around probably like 3.
3, okay. But we could,
you
can always
add
more.
It depends on really how much you want it to be runny, thick. You want to have more vegetable, less yogurt, more yogurt, less vegetable.
I'm just going to grab this pot of Greek yogurt just so we can have a proper close-up look at it on this camera, because I think of yogurt and look.
It's really creamy and thick and
seriously
nice.
Thick and creamy. I'm going to get a clean spoon and have a taste.
Do it.
Because it's interesting to hear what Paul was just saying there about, what they look for in suppliers and trying to, okay, we're going in. So this is raw. There's nothing.
Yeah. And it has some sort of
seriously
sourness.
delicious, though.
Yeah. So I tried it and it has some sourness and some, some sort of acidity in it. So usually I would add a bit of lemon or vinegar to add that to the tzatziki. This is good enough. You don't need to do
No
that.
need.
Yeah. This has enough of that.
How's that texture going for you?
I like it like that.
Yeah?
That's how I like it. I'm not sure if you like tzatziki a bit
I
runnier.
love tzatziki.
But you like it runnier in texture, or you like it?
No, so this is the thing. It could be like a dip, or you can scoop, right?
Yes.
Could you do like a flatbread with this if you were serving in a restaurant? What would be on the plate?
Oh my god, of course. Usually guests in our restaurant, when they finish the meatballs and they still have the tzatziki in, they would order extra focaccia or flatbread, and then they would just scoop everything out with it. Scarpetta.
Oh, right, we're coming back on the radio in just a few minutes. So let's have a quick look, see what's happening on our YouTube channel, because it is... Well, messages are coming in saying bunny chow, tandoori chicken adobo. So it's a busy afternoon on a Friday. You know, it's so nice that people feel like they can take the time to spend an hour with us, to cook, to learn about you, take the time for themselves. If you're watching not live, then hopefully you've managed to check out the ingredients and maybe even cooking along with us.
Yeah.
Just opening some organic olive oil.
Olive oil is life for me. Helen, let me ask you a question. What is one ingredient that you would choose to cook with your entire life?
Sea salt flakes.
I would choose olive oil any time of the day.
So my normal breakfast is labneh, olive oil, za'atar, and I'll have like crudité or crackers. I feel like in a former life, then maybe we were cousins. Okay, we're coming back live on Dubai Eye 103.8. That smells so fresh and so good.
You can grab a spoon and try it.
And we'll grab a spoon. Right. Let's see. Let's have a quick little look in this camera here.
There we go.
Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm so glad you're with us this Friday afternoon. I know how busy life can be, and I think just taking a few hours, whether you're in the car, and trust me, it took me a little while to get to Spinneys HQ today. But bad traffic means good radio, and we're really glad you're here. I'm Helen Farmer, and we are live on Dubai Eye 103.8. But we're also live on our YouTube channel. I am cooking. Actually, I haven't done anything. Chef Sara's
I'm going to get you to work now. Don't worry about it.
Made me do absolutely nothing so far this afternoon. I've got
You
my
are
apron
going
on
to do
everything.
much more now.
From Dara Dining in Jordan, we have got Chef Sara Aqel. She's worked in Dubai in the Filia, in the SLS, Italian restaurant that had this bib gourmand. And then with Massimo Bottura, who doesn't know it, but he might be my next husband. My also current husband doesn't know it either.
Oh, wow. I hope Massimo's wife doesn't hear this.
She's also very nice. But I mean, when we think about real food heroes, he's just so up there. And I can only imagine how inspirational it must have been to
It was great. Working with the entire team, actually. Bernardo used to be our head chef.
Yeah.
And the entire culture was inspiring.
Yeah,
and I try to teach my team anywhere that I go or any place that I open or anything that I do. Now I try to teach them the same culture because it brought us together and we are still friends until today. So
that must be really interesting to go from being a young chef who's learning and training and having mentors to then being the mentor. You know, when you're recruiting for Dara Dining, what are you looking for in a young chef to join the team? What's your criteria?
Ambition.
What is it?
I want them to be ambitious. I want them to think that not even skies are the limit. You have to go way beyond skies to have a limit. And it is great to see. I don't hire according to age or to just the need of hiring. When you open a restaurant, of course, you fill up the need of positions. Mm-hmm. But then 6 months later, you start hiring because you see something in people. And that's very inspiring. I was giving a restaurant when I was 25 years old just because one or two people saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself.
Now you're paying it forward.
And I think this changed my life. And I think people who worked with me on the project changed my life because they had so much faith in me. And people who came to the restaurant, I mean, it's a restaurant that was managed by a 25 years old. And they had that faith, that good faith in us and trust. I try to give that to the same generation that I was, the same age that I was at.
Because that love and passion comes through in the food, right? We know
not only that, but it also, it's really when you are in that age and you're willing to sacrifice time and effort and you know what this industry is. there's no joke. And there's no work-life balance when you're 24. That's like doesn't exist really.
I feel like that's the time you put in your heart.
Exactly.
In
So
any
if you
industry.
meet
I look back and I'm
anyone-
25 and like, wow,
when
I
I
was
meet
working hard.
anyone in that age who has that willing
drive.
that drive and that willing to sacrifice this at this age, I know they're serious about it, and I like to invest time and effort in them because at some point I want them to become super great and super famous.
And then they go, I want to thank my mentor,
Yes,
Chef Sara.
I've learned from her, just like I've learned from a lot more people that I worked with, not just Massimo.
For anyone that's just tuned in, we are live on YouTube and we're, of course, on Dubai Eye 103.8. I'm Helen Farmer and Chef Sara with us today. Let's quickly remind us what we've done so far. We're making polpete, we're making meatballs, and just kind of during the break there, you were making the tzatziki. So would you mind just recapping what's gone into your tzatziki, Chef?
The tzatziki had almost 3 cucumbers that we grated, medium-sized cucumbers. We grate them, and then we grate them on top of a cheesecloth because we're going to strain them from water. This is the water that we get from them. Usually, I wouldn't throw it. I would use it to make a mocktail, a cocktail, or an ice cube to serve with something that I drink. Even if you're making just a lemonade and you want that cucumber freshness, you just have that crushed ice in it.
It's such a smart idea. So we've grated and strained cucumbers,
and then we picked
the herbs.
Yes, we picked the dill. We chopped it, roughly chopped. Inside, there's chopped garlic. And as I said, usually I would have some vinegar or lemon side of the recipe, but this is the yogurt is creamy and thick and nice, and it has a great texture, and it has that acidity itself. So I didn't want to ruin that. And then right here, I'm just doing a little herb mix because I'm gonna dress it later on with some salt, pepper, olive oil, and cucumber juice. So to make the salad on top of the polpete.
Now, the meatballs themselves, as I said, I'm a cheat, so I would maybe buy the pre-made ones from Spinneys from downstairs. But Chef Sara, such a great idea in terms of bringing together different offcuts. Lamb fat. We've had some beautiful brisket and ribeye that you've minced. We soaked. It was sourdough bread you were soaking in milk, right? But it could be anything,
whatever
right?
Bread,
and
whatever
end of a baguette.
bread that you have in the house that you want to use.
And then hands got dirty in the kitchen, and everything been put together. How big are the meatballs going to be, and how are we going to cook them?
I am going to ask someone to give me gloves for Helen, please.
Fresh gloves, I think. Are those fresh?
Yeah, these are fresh. I'm going to get some for myself.
Okay. See, I am being put to work today. I thought I was having a cruisy Friday afternoon, but
no
apparently
way.
not. But
with
you know
me,
what?
No one gets a cruisy Friday.
This would be a great thing to make with kids, actually, for them to kind of get their hands into it. So Dara Dining, Mediterranean, Levantine, what are some of the big hits on the menu? What do people love to eat?
Oh, we have a fish that we do the Gazan way. So in Gaza, they wrap fish, a very thin fish called mackerel. Do you know mackerel?
Yeah.
So it's a very thin, soft fish. And when you get it fresh, it's so soft, you would mistaken it for being bad. That's how.
Really?
Yes. So what we would do in the restaurant. So what they do is that they wrap it with a vine leaf and then they bake it so it protects it from heat.
Okay.
What we do is that we cure the vine leaves. So they would be edible with the fish itself. Okay. And then we wrap the entire fish with it and we bake it all together. So when it comes out and you eat it all together, it gives it this grassiness. And the leaves themselves become a bit crunchy and sour. So it all cooks together perfectly with the fish. And when you eat it all together, it gives it all that fresh, sour, but grassy texture.
For people that are watching on our YouTube.
Yeah,
of course. You're wearing the apron with your logo on.
Yes.
Tell us about the logo.
Our logo for the restaurant is the embroidery of a vine leaf, and it's something that we created for the restaurant. It's really not beautiful. An original embroidery, but the embroidery is a cross stitch because embroidery is part of our culture, Jordanian and Palestinian.
I took my daughters to a workshop about Palestine a few weeks ago, and they came home talking about, and I wish I could remember, it was a specific technique or the word.
Yes.
What is it?
Tatriz, and it's there are too many types of tatriz and too many patterns. Each part of Palestine and each part of Jordan has different patterns of tatriz, and
they came home.
This one is a cross stitch that we do for the vine leaf because we own a vino shop. So.
Right.
Okay, so I am going to start doing this. I'm going to leave this in the fridge for a second.
Okay, so tzatziki going in the fridge to chill. It smells amazing, by the way. Absolutely
Herbs,
amazing.
herbs.
Okay.
So what we will do, I'm just gonna mix it a bit again to make sure all bread and meat and everything is good together and it's cold and it's nice. See, that's why you had to leave it for a second for room temperature, so everything would come all together. The fat needs some room temperature to melt in. So what we will do, we will turn them into.
Can I get in there?
Of course,
Okay,
that's why you got the gloves.
I'm going in.
No one can ever say I did not put Helen to work.
Hey, listen, I like it.
No one can ever say you did not work on this show.
People might have said that before. No, I'm joking. No. No, because I love, this is the thing.
Now you have evidence.
I didn't grow up in a foodie household. So I had my grandmother who was a good baker. And I feel like for a lot of kids, that's kind of their entry point into food. It's this idea of like alchemy. I have to say,
it's very hard to become a good baker.
Well, it's so exact, right? You know, but it's this idea of if you follow the specific ingredient list and you know, to the letter, then things should work. But for children, it's kind of magical to see flour and sugar and, you know, butter go and then out pops.
I used to think it's a magic trick.
It is like magic.
Seeing a cake batter turning into a sponge, a big sponge that is great, it is
something special. We need to take a little break on the radio and head over and find out what's happening on our roads this Friday afternoon. I'm hoping it's a bit calmer now than it was a couple of hours ago. Milani has got your latest, but if you want to see what's happening in the kitchen here at Spinneys Meydan HQ, head over to our YouTube channel, Dubai Eye 1038 FM. So we are rolling like, I mean, I feel like, is this too flat?
Yes, you can roll it.
I can make it more of a circle.
Yeah. It's all good. So the great thing about this as well is that your children would love it.
They would love it.
So what you can do is that you can make all of this and then leave it in the freezer.
Uncooked?
You can leave it in the freezer uncooked for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month.
And just get out as many as you need.
Get it out, fry it, put it in the oven, and voila. You can make it with tomato sauce, you can make it with tzatziki, you can make it with rice, you can make it with...
Here's a question for you, Chef. How do you feel about air fryers?
I don't hate them.
You don't hate them? Only because we use ours quite a lot. And I was like, we could, you know.
I don't know. I honestly don't hate them. They provide the right texture for the right things.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use them for everything.
Yeah.
You can't turn everything into an air fryer dish, for sure.
But what's your most used kitchen gadget at home?
At home? Oh, my pan.
Pans? Is that a gadget?
It's not a gadget. It's a pan.
Is it like a special pan or not really?
It is a special pan. When you get it from Japan, it's a special pan.
Oh, have you been to Japan?
Yeah. No. But I have friends who came from there. So this I want to leave for the fried ones because we're going to put them in the
Perfect.
Cool. So I'm going to start frying some.
Okay. Let's do it.
I will tell you in a second if our oil is
Let
ready.
me just get my head around the process. So we're going to be deep frying.
What's the name of the guy who got me this?
Ankia brought over this enormous...
Amazing. I asked for the thermometer and then he got me
It looks like something from Killing Eve. It looks like you're going to be like an assassin.
But also like the fanciest thermometer I've ever worked with. I dare any of my French chefs to send me an Instagram and send me a message and show me your highest end thermometer.
So what are we looking for?
So we're looking for 170 to 180 degrees with oil, because meat usually needs high temperature to cook. So
the reason I asked you about the gadget or the bit of kit was I was listening to an interview with a food writer recently, and she was like, every kitchen needs a spider.
Yes.
I'd never heard this before. So I bought a spider, and now my life is complete. For people who don't know what a spider is, it's like a metal basket with a handle, right?
Yes.
But I use it for, if you
frying
pasta, poaching, it's amazing. So, and it was cheap. So it's the kind of gadget I was into. Okay, how's our oil looking?
We are at 160 going to 170, which is good.
By the way, we've just had a delivery of the Spinneys tzatziki. So I'm wondering if we get Paul back in for a little taste test.
Come in, Paul. Come in. You're going to lose this.
Actually, do you know what? We might put them in a little plate just to have a truly anonymous experience. So I might need a spoonful of your tzatziki from the fridge, if that's okay, Chef.
Of course.
Yeah? Okay.
Hey, Paul, if I win, what do I get?
What do you get?
I don't want Spinneys chairs, but like we can discuss if that's what you're offering.
So there's going to be 2 questions for Paul Crawford. The first question is going to be which is which, and then it's going to be which is better. And then if Chef Sara wins,
you have to look. No, you can't look at her.
no,
You can't look at her while she's doing this.
it's going to be.
You know I'm going to win. Just be fair.
It's going to be blind test. Turn your back, please. Turn your back. Thank you very much. Okay. Oh, I mean, it's no contest to me so far.
I
know. Right.
These are experienced burns, Paul. Show me the guy who made that tzatziki.
Paul travels the
Here
world.
we go.
Okay. We're going to do. We've got 30 seconds. We're going to do it on the radio. No pressure. Chef, is that oil where you need it to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I am going to drop one, and hopefully
little
get them
test?
pressure. Yes.
You are going to close your eyes.
Wait, we need to take the thermometer away from her as well if she loses.
I don't think I would ever. But like you know your tzatziki, right? Because you've had it from Spinneys.
We're coming back live on Dubai Eye 103.8.
And what you've missed on is...
Ooh. So that looks and smells.
Okay.
Stop looking. Okay.
No, I'm not looking.
Helen Farmer with you. I'm not alone in the kitchen at Spinneys. I've got Chef Sara Aqel joining us from Dara Dining, and I've got Paul Crawford with us, commercial manager of all things fresh here at Spinneys, who was saying earlier how much he loves the Spinneys tzatziki, which is what we're making today with Chef. So I was like,
surprise, surprise.
Let's have a little test. So I have got a spoonful of each in front of me. Paul, I'm going to be asking you, A, if you can identify which is which, and B, put your honest hat on.
Okay.
Which one do you think is better?
Okay.
And if you say, oh, they're both good, they're just different, then, which I could feel
for sure.
the diplomatic answer. Okay,
Sarah
so
would give you that.
close your eyes.
Okay. I mean, you're not
Going to feed
feeding
you.
me.
No. Okay, take it.
Okay.
Go on, have a go. You're probably going to know. You should know your own produce. Okay. What flavors are you getting from sample number one?
In that one.
Pepper in that one.
Peppery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the oil is good. We're gonna go with the meatballs while he's making sure that my tzatziki is better.
So I think you probably know which is which. Because to my mind, there's one clear ingredient that's in Chef's that I can't see in yours, which is a dill.
The dill.
Yeah.
And maybe the pepper. So
Okay.
which was which to your mind?
Well, this was the Spinneys one.
So sample number 2 was indeed the Spinneys.
Yeah, and this is Sarah's one.
And
Look,
they're both very good. They're just different.
One is meant for scooping with chips. Yeah, so we need to make sure ours is
scoopable.
Is versatile.
Got you.
Yeah, I mean, I do love my own one, so I'm going to have to see my own one.
What, yours and your own one that you make?
One, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try yours because I'm going to go into a bit of Chef's.
Sarah, try it.
Sarah might try it. Sarah, what are you doing over there? With you put me to work.
Yes, I am frying the
Put some
meatballs.
cottage cheese there. There you go, Helen.
Oh, look. Sorry, Chef. They're bringing me snacks. Sorry I interrupted you.
Don't worry about it.
Thank you. I'm going back to the 90s. We've got some cottage cheese to try. Chef, while I'm chatting with Paul about the cottage cheese, tell everyone what we basically have made our meatballs and how are you cooking them?
So I'm just going to fry them, and to make sure they are very cooked from inside, well done from inside, we're going to put them in the oven at 190 to 200 just for a few minutes, like 4 minutes max. We don't want them to get dry, but we want to make sure they are all cooked evenly.
Perfect. So if you've just tuned in, I was saying earlier, my memories of cottage cheese are my mum's diet food. It was her going to the village hall for Rosemary Conley, trying to always lose like the last 5 pounds, right? So cottage cheese is having, to borrow your word, something of a renaissance, yes. Paul Crawford. And you've just brought out your own Spinneys food cottage cheese. So this is the first time I've ever eaten any. And I'm really nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. Got a cracker.
Yeah, just go.
Can I just, I need to give a shout out to Rick on our team, because every time I'm going Spinneys, I see there's a cracker called Ricky's Bickies.
Ricky's Bickies.
And every time I think of Rick from our team. These are not Ricky's Bickies. I don't know what these are. These are
Peter's Yard.
They're Peter's Yard.
Yeah.
Don't know who Peter is, but hopefully he makes a good cracker. Right.
Okay, just go and Dip right in there. Come on, you need more than that.
Totally non-offensive.
Yeah, it's great.
I was worried
About?
about the curds. I thought it was going to be a textural problem.
No.
This is really
Yeah,
delicious.
it's nice and creamy. It's beautiful.
But people are using it as an ingredient.
Yeah, they
So
are.
making like a protein bread or a protein cake.
Exactly.
Have you cooked with cottage cheese?
Cook? No, but I would eat it a lot. It's one of my favorite things to eat.
How would you eat it?
Me with honey, milk and honey.
Really? Elevation.
Yeah.
Who made
Right.
this? It's so good.
Well, the first tzatziki.
That's
It's absolutely
yeah,
amazing,
she knows
isn't it?
that.
Right.
And she needs to try this one as well.
A pinch of salt,
Yeah.
tiny pinch of salt, and this tzatziki is perfect.
Okay. I'm dismissing you for
Okay.
choosing your own tzatziki.
Okay.
Paul Crawford, thank you
Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
But thank you
Thank
for
you.
opening my eyes to cottage cheese. This could be a whole new world. Maybe I'll start using TikTok. We have got a hamper of amazing ingredients for you. So if you want to get in touch on our YouTube channel, it's your very last chance to tell me your favorite home food from your home country. So the food when you think about, oh my goodness, reminds me of growing up, then tell me right now, because Milani's about to hold up the winner and I could be saying your name in just a few minutes. In that hamper, we have got Greek yogurt of all sorts of different varieties. We've got protein bars, we've got berries, we've got chutneys, all from Spinneys. And I believe we'll even try and deliver it to you, if not today, then certainly over the weekend. So going into the weekend as a winner. Chef,
I can't believe every time I give Paul an evil eye, I see the camera. I was like looking at him like, oh, I know.
Chef, we're going to run out of time. Am I able to taste one of the meatballs with some tzatziki before we...
If you want to, but we can put them now in the oven.
I don't
It
think
just
we're going to
needs
have
2 minutes,
time.
and we're going to be ready to serve anyway.
Okay.
The oven is on.
I think I'm going to get the evil eye from producer Milani saying, Helen, you need to eat this as soon as possible. Is that right?
How many minutes do we still have?
I think we've got now.
Now. Oh,
It's
fantastic.
go time. Ricky in the corner is saying, Helen, you need to eat.
Give me 1 second. I'll put this in the oven for you,
Okay.
and I will plate it for you then.
Okay, amazing. Let's get plating. And I'm going to announce the winner. So for all of you who have been tuning in to our YouTube channel, thank you so much. It's been great to have you. Our winner is Sawney, saying tandoori chicken. Sawney, you've got a huge hamper coming your way. And I have to say, you're in for a real treat because what we've been eating today is just the freshest Greek yogurt. I mean, my goodness, just so creamy and delicious. The cottage cheese, which, is now a thing for me as well. And so much more. So also stay with us here on Dubai 103.8. If you are listening, we've also got a great prize coming your way. All will be revealed after 3 o'clock. Also, we'll be talking food news. Chef, tell us what you're doing. Looks like dressing a little salad.
Yep. I just used some of the cucumber juice to dress the salad. I'm going to put the tzatziki in the bottom of the plate because I love this mix of cold yogurt, fresh and hot meat, fatty hot meat.
Oh.
It reminds me of food from our culture, the Turkish, sometimes the Armenian, actually.
Really? I've never been to Armenia, but a friend went recently and said they did an amazing kind of vineyard tour and the food was phenomenal. I've got some. What can I get you?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll have a little
mix
of that. And then what about cooking at home for you? What do you make at home?
I make plenty of things at home. I have to be honest. I'm not the average person. I'm not the average chef who doesn't want to cook at home.
Because that's
I like cooking.
Scrambled
I like
eggs.
it. No, but I like it. I like making steaks. I like making pasta. I like showing off tacos. I like making things from scratch as well.
Move back to Dubai.
I am in between. I never left.
I
So.
know. All right, our meatballs coming out of the oven. I think we've got just a minute left to have a bit of a taste.
Fantastic.
Ready,
Right on
steady?
time.
Happy?
Happy.
Let's do it. Guys, thank you so much for being with us on the YouTube. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm sure you've really loved the energy in the kitchen here. We have got live cooking with Spinneys every single month. We're going to be doing some back to school and some lunchbox ideas, because I think a lot of us start the term full of ideas and inspiration, and it gets to kind of end of September and you go, oh my days. So that's going to be our focus for our next live cookery session. So if you're feeling a bit exasperated, don't worry. Here at Dubai 103.8 and Spinneys, we have got your back. Today it has been Chef Sara Aqel, who's been making beautiful polpete, so meatballs, but with her Arab world twist with tzatziki and a freshly dressed salad.
Well, tzatziki is Greek. I'm just serving it the way that I would like to eat our minced meat in general.
This looks amazing. I am going to bring it in for our camera here, I think. So
I'm going to return this.
You can see it. And I am going to get stuck in. Chef, thank you so much for your time. You're heading back where? Today, tomorrow? You're traveling again?
Tomorrow, and I come back to Dubai next week.
Oh, thank you. What are some of your favorite restaurants in Dubai? Where do you like to eat?
Oof, I have many favorite restaurants.
Give them a shout out. Go on.
I love 3 by Eva. I love Orfeli Bros. When I say I love, I'm not exaggerating. I really love them.
Love.
I also love, where else? I love having ramen at Kinoya. I can't wait for winter.
Oh no, tell me about it. I want warm food in a cool terrace. Chef, this is absolutely delicious. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We're going to feed the crew now who've been working really hard this last hour. If you wouldn't mind cooking the rest of those meatballs, I think they'd be really, really grateful. Chef Sara, for anyone that wants to follow you on Instagram, what's the best place to find you?
Sara Aqel. Or Dara Dining by Sara Aqel, wherever you guys want.
All right, guys.
Some people call me Dara nowadays.
Really?
It's really funny. You almost called me Dara.
I know, I was confused.
Some people call me Dara, and I'm like, Chef Sara Aqel is my Instagram, and that's it.
If you want that, send me the word chef, and I'll send it on 4001. Food news and more coming your way. I'm going to take my plate over to the table, and we're going to head into a short break.
3.8. Join the conversation.